Hi, welcome to Robin's Roost. Today we're going to make a fun birthday card using the Charming Sentiments and Sentimental Silhouette dies, as well as a little stamp from the Hooray for Surprises, so kind of a mix. But some of it, if you don't have those, you could do by cutting papers or handwriting the greeting. So here's the card. We've got some fun background paper, from the Bright and Beautiful Designer Series paper. It's a 6x6 size. And here's where we're using the little greeting from the Hooray for Surprises. And when we pull this, we get the greeting to open up. So then we see our happiest birthday. So it's got a few bits and pieces, but not overall like rocket science. So let's flip the camera and I'll show you how to make it. So to begin our flip up card, here's the papers we're going to use, and I'm going to pull in the dies and stamp sets. So I'm using the Sentimental Silhouettes to cut the candles. And let me just pull it out and I will show you. There are a whole bunch of dies in this set. Most of them actually cut out the outlines of the words for the stamp set that goes with it, but we have a few of these different, oh gosh, shape dies, you know, like the stars and the swoosh and stuff. And we have these really cool candles. So there's 3 pieces. We've got like, you know, this makes the lines in the candles, the base, and the little flame. And then we're also going to use this base piece for the candle to cut our slot in the one layer so that our pull-up piece goes up and down. So I'm just going to set this off to the side for now. I do need to cut the slot yet. And then from the Hooray for Surprises, we're only using one little stamp here, and it's the pull. So I want that for the pull. And you could just handwrite it on there if you didn't have this stamp set. And then from the Charming Sentiments, which is the word set that matches the Sentiment Silhouette dies, I'm using the Happiest Birthday. So not a lot of stamping on this card. Now for the pieces, we start with our base, which is just a single sheet, not folded, 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And then our next layer is a little bit different size than normal because I'm leaving enough room on the bottom for the pull tab to kind of hang over. And this piece is, let me look it up to make sure I have it right. It is 3 3/4 by 5 1/4. So it's the normal 5 1/4, but then 3 3/4. So you have a little bit extra room down here for the pull tab. And when you layer it on, when you adhere this, you're going to leave equal distance on these top 3 sides. And then we have our candle layer, which is, again, I'm looking, so I make sure I give you the right dimensions. It is 2 1/4 by 3 3/4, and then it has a matte layer that's 2 1/2 by 4. So that's going to be our layer that the candles sit on. And then we need our little greeting that this piece will flip up and our greeting will stick out underneath. And our greeting layer has Designer Series paper that is 1 1/3 by 4 inches. And then the matte layer is a little bit smaller so it doesn't peek out beyond. So the matte layer is 1 11/16 by 3 11/16. So just a little bit smaller than the 1/4 inch so that it doesn't stick past. Okay, and then we have our candles. So the candles you're just going to pick, I just use my scrap paper, right? So we've got 6 candles, and I left one of them not put together so that I could show you that. And then we have our mechanism strip. Now this is actually just a 1-inch scrap of white paper, and it is, I want to say 7 inches long, but let me check to make sure. I'm looking at my my little scrappy of measurements here. Oh, it is 1 inch by 5 3/8. Okay, so I had that wrong. I'm making too many different cards lately. And you're going to score it at 3.5 and at 4. And then I want to round the corners just so it looks nicer on the end. Now, if I had a corner rounder handy, I would use that, but a circle punch will work as well. So you can just stick the ends in, and we just want to nip off the corners just so it's rounded a little bit. See, just makes it look a little bit more finished. Okay, now let's put together our last candle. So there's all these cool little chiclets that come out when you make the swirly part of the candle, the top layer. And I'm thinking I'm going to save these. I know that's kind of crazy, and make a shaker card with them because they're perfect for little confetti for a shaker card. Now I did not use adhesive sheets on these. You could, then you wouldn't be able to make a shaker card. So I'm just going to put little teeny tiny dots of glue on these. At least that's what I'm hoping for. Okay, it doesn't take like super lot to get these adhered. And then I'm just going to layer this on top of here. And you're going to do that 6 times with all your candles. And of course you could make your candles all one color. You know, I did mine multicolor. And now I have lost my flame. Oh, here it is. Whew. Thought we were going to be flameless there for a minute. Okay. So as you can see, just a dot. It just does not take very much. Now I have to pick it up again. Okay. So there we have our candles. Now we can go ahead and start putting our pieces together here. And this paper that I'm using on this card is the Bright and Beautiful. It's a 6x6 designer series paper. And I like to, when I adhere my candles, I like to do them all willy-nilly. Okay, so not a pattern or not in a row, because I can never get things straight. So if I do them willy-nilly, then you won't know that they're crooked, right? So I just kind of throw them on there every which way. And then I'm just going to use the liquid glue again, just a little strip. Oh, and I got too much on that one. In a minute I'll take off the excess here. Now, of course, if you're, boy, I'm really getting it on there this morning. If you're really good at straight, you could line these all up in a row if you wanted. Okay, so that's it for our candle piece. And then we're going to need to do a little stamping here. Now, you could also, with the Charming Sentiments, there is a matching die that would cut out this greeting. So you could actually stamp it on a piece of white and then put it on our paper, which my thought was if it didn't look good stamped directly onto this designer series paper, I could always go back and do that and add the greeting over top of the stamped greeting that didn't look the way I wanted it. So we're just going to use basic black, or I'm sorry, tuxedo black. I think of it as basic black because I use it for everything. Okay. And it's just a simple wishing you the happiest of birthdays. There. And then we need our little pole from our Hooray for Surprises. Didn't get that on there very straight, but okay. We're just going to put it right at the bottom here. And like I said, if you didn't have this stamp set, you could just hand write that on. Okay, now when I do my little slot, what I want to do is I'm going to make some marks so I know where I'm going to place it. So it's kind of in the middle. As I said before, I'm not very good at straight, so it's going to be basically 2 inches from each edge, and I'm just going to mark this with my pencil if I can find it. So I'm just going to put a little tick there, and we're not going to see this because it's going to be under this. And then let's see. Okay, and then I want it to be 1 3/4 inch down. So it's 2 inches in and then 1 3/4 inch down. So right about there. Okay, so I am just going to put my little slot here like this, and I'll go cut this. So now you can see I've got the slot cut in there. So what we need to do next is, this is going to get adhered this way, and I'm putting that up there because it's I've been known to glue it on the wrong direction. So let's just do fold our score lines here on our little moving mechanism. So we're going to adhere this right to the middle of here on this this piece right here. So again, you can measure if you need to, which I probably should, but I'm not going to. This is just going to go right on the edge in the middle. And then this piece is going to get adhered right in the center of here on this whole piece. Oops. Just going to go right here. And then this is going to get slid in here. And we're going to adhere just the edges of this. So you can either use liquid glue or your tape runner, but you don't want to adhere it in the centerpiece, which it looks like I maybe just got the glue a little bit too close there. Let's just take that back a notch. Okay. Now again, we want to line up these 3 edges on the top to be equal, or the side edge and the top edge. 3 edges on the top. And then we're going to put some tear and tape across here. Well, actually we could use liquid glue as well. Let's do the liquid glue, as long as we have it out. We're just going to run a line right on the edge because we only want the bottom of it to stay down. And this is going to hold it in place. So when we set this down here, we want to center it side to side and then make sure our little pull tab is kind of right at the bottom there, because we don't want it to hang out too much or it won't fit in the envelope. And then we're just going to press this down and leave it for a few seconds. So then when your recipient gets the card, they can pull on the little pull tab and the greeting will pop out. Isn't that cool? And like I said, if you wanted, you could stamp this on a piece of white and then die cut it and add it on here. Matter of fact, let's try that and see how it'll look. One little tip I might want to mention too, when I got this stamp set, I had a heck of a time figuring out which dies matched which greeting. So I just went and wrote a little note, like the birthday one, and then put them back in the same place every time. Just a little tip to make it easier. So we could also, let's see how this looks. You know, that would make our greeting stand out a little bit more from the designer series paper, and that's just going to kind of make a difference on which pattern of paper you choose. This one, I did another card with the same paper, but it's kind of an ombre look. So the piece that I had on the other card was a little bit lighter. There, I like the way that sticks out better. So hope you enjoyed this card. It's not a super hard one to make, just to get that little mechanism and get these pieces glued in so they're sort of straight. And then you can always write on the back, right? You know, your greeting. Hope you enjoyed this card. Some of these products go on sale today, so April 9th. So check it out, and I have my address for my store below. Thanks for stopping by at the Roost.